Hey, I'm CDiinky. Alrighty guys, in today's video we'll be going over, I didn't mean to hit you there hoops, we'll be going over one of the best in my opinion spear builds. Spears in ground have been kind of underrated, and with this build you're going to be taking out bosses extremely quickly depending on if you can get your crits in or if you have the right trinkets. But I was testing this in my stream today where I was testing out viewers builds, and this build is extremely broken, so let me go ahead and stop yapping and let's get over the build. So starting off with the weapon, we're going to go with the rusty spear. This rusty spear can be any element versus any boss. So if you're versing the infected Broodmother, chuck it down fresh. If you're versing the Mantis or Wasp Queen, chuck it down salty, and so on. It can also be any level. I'm going to chuck this in level 12 today, but just if you know, if it's a low level, you're going to deal less damage. If it's a high level, you're going to be dealing more damage. We're going to be testing this build out on New Game Plus 1 today on medium difficulty, and the reason why we're going with the rusty spear is because of the infection. As we hit an enemy with the infection, they're going to get reduced damage and attack speed by 10% for I think it's 10 seconds, which is really overpowered. With the trinket today, any soul damage ups, any plus boss damage and crit damage is going to be your best. Preferably you want all three of them on the same trinket for the best damage, but even if you just have plus boss damage or plus salty damage up, plus spicy damage up versus whatever boss, that will be completely fine. But the more you have, the more damage you're going to deal. With the headpiece, we're going with the eye patch, as this is going to give us plus attack but minus damage resistance. We're getting 10% extra attack damage, but we're going to be taking 25% more damage. In my opinion, the damage resist doesn't really matter because we're just going to be taking out bosses extremely quickly. For the chest piece, we're going with the chest of the Mother Demon for that 15% increased resistance, with the poison coating and venom coating just for some more damage over time. And then for the leggings, we're going fire and bulky for more defense, and with the corrosion, which reduces enemies' defense, which means we can punch in more damage. Now before we get into this boss fight or any boss fight, I would recommend you go ahead and upgrade your weapon to level 12 or whatever, and then just duplicate the heck out of them, having as much as you can. Probably like 12 or like less than 12 is probably what you need. Level 12, these guys only cost 3,000 raw science to dupe or something like that. So after every single farm, you're guaranteeing to get 3,000 raw science from every boss, because every single infused enemy or boss drops 3,000 raw science. So it's going to be a net profit. Now mutations, obviously the higher phase of the mutations, the more damage and more better your build is going to be. So we're going to chuck on Javelineer, which increases our damage when we throw our spears. Cryptogras and Yoked Blows will trap people for extra crit damage and crit chance. Powder fans, we can get our stamina back a lot more quicker, and then Spicy Safety just so we can tank a few hits. Now if you are not comfortable with perfect blocking, I would definitely recommend the Fire Ant Shield or any shield so you can block your attacks. But if you have a shield out, you're going to have a 20% damage reduction, and I don't like that, so I won't be rocking it in today's video. And now when it comes to buffs, I would really recommend a Sticky Liquid Rage, a Sticky Boss Sauce, as well as some Perfect Toast, as this is going to increase your damage and your critical hit chance and your critical hit damage by a substantial amount. And also make sure before any boss fight you're going to mark any mount, so we're going to mark the Mantis mount for this video. So once again, we are going to be on New Game Plus number 1, and we are going to be on medium difficulty. Let's go ahead and summon in the Mantis. Fingers crossed she does not have the high defense mutation, otherwise this is going to take a little bit longer. But as you want to find out, we're just going to take her out so quickly. We're going to stab her. She has the high defense, which is not what we wanted. We're going to stab her and we're going to start throwing spears at her. And as you can see, we're just dealing a bunch of damage in her first phase already. She's about to go to her second. Make sure to parry his attacks. This is why you want to have a lot of spears, so you just go ahead and keep throwing them at him. And just like that, she is dead. I didn't have time to explain what happened, but she is dead. And this was in New Game 1, medium difficulty, and she had high defense as well, and we just took her out so quickly. This is insane. So now we are going to be trying on woe mode as well, just to show you guys that this can be done on any difficulty, and if you do it on mild, then it's just going to be extremely easy. And we're also in a custom game, if you did not know. Once again, let's go ahead and start off the fight. She has these spicy hits, so we're going to stab her once and just throw spears on her. And we're going to watch the damage scale. Obviously, in the higher New Game Pluses and the higher difficulties, we are going to be dealing a lot less damage, and the bosses are going to be having a lot more HP. But if we hit our crit, as you can see, our critical hit damage is just insane. And this Mantis can't even attack us. She's already in her second phase, and she's about to die, just like that. On woe mode, it is that easy. Like, this build is just stupidly broken, especially if you have stealth damage up best, plus boss damage and crit damage. This is the best way to farm infused ooze and boss ooze, because Like, you take them out so quickly, and you can farm this over and over and over until your weapons break, of course. And now we're here in the Hedge Broodmother boss fight. This time we're going to be on medium difficulty, and of course we have a bunch of spicy weapons, and the only trinket that increases our damage here is going to be plus boss damage. So even if you have plus boss damage or plus spicy damage, minor, best, or major, you're still going to be dealing massive damage. So let's go ahead and fight on the Hedge Broodmother. Once again, as she spawns in, we're going to stab her once to get the infection, and then just going to start throwing the spears inside of her face. Fingers crossed she doesn't have high defense, she has the venom on hit. And just like that, we are almost halfway within the first few seconds of the boss fight. She's going to scream multiple times, and she's going to summon in a bunch of summons, which is not going to be good for us. So let's hopefully we can heal up just in time, just like that. If you are not comfortable with all these spiders around, you can definitely go ahead and just use a shield and block all these attacks. Let's go ahead and start throwing the spears at her face. These spiders shouldn't be too much of an issue for us anyways. As you can see, we're still throwing. We can just stay away from her. For some reason, that scream did not hit us. Just go ahead and keep throwing spears at her, and just like that, she is dead, just like that. And I completely forgot I also had Natural Explorer on and not Cryptograph critical hit chance. But anyways, that just goes to show how OP this build is. You don't even need to take out the summons. You just run around the arena and just start throwing spears in front of her face. It is that simple, depending on what modifiers she has, of course. That there is going to be the end of today's video, guys. If you did enjoy this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and even a comment down below if this build helped you at all, if it didn't help you. And with all that said, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next video.